in Private Parts where not Don Reynolds, Howard Stern just drops the records and shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. All right, yeah, fuck it. Technology fucking sucks. I
No
hate
shit,
it.
man. No
That
shit.
is on par for the DRWC show.
Yep.
No more fancy gimmicks, no more nothing except. Oh, I was trying to lead you in there, Don.
Oh, okay. So are we ready to go?
Yeah, we've been
Oh,
going. We've been live for about 2 minutes.
All right, perfect. So it is time for the DRWC show. I am over here, Don Reynolds, along with over there, White Chocolate. White Chocolate, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh, fucking great. Jeez. I mean, nothing at all.
I hear
Nothing at all.
everything's going smooth and all that stuff.
Oh,
Technology is
just
not a
fucking peachy, my guy.
yes, you
But
know it.
yeah.
So, well, I tell you what, we are doing something a little bit special today. We are having one of our Donversations for the evening. We have a special guest, very special guest as usual, coming out of the great area of Chicago. He is the man that has been over a year, has had opportunities and has seized those opportunities and capitalized that. He is Steven Flowe. Steven Flowe, how you doing today, my friend?
awesome. How are you guys doing?
Man, we are doing
Oh,
fantastic. I want to first of all say thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to speak with you and joining us today. We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very
guys.
much for having me.
Oh,
Absolutely. So, well, I'll tell you
fucking
what, a lot of exciting stuff with Stephen Flowe. Over a year, he's been introduced. And if you haven't seen that, and if you haven't seen him like in any kind of videos, and you listen to this, you know what? Shame on you. So you got to catch this guy out. So, quite a hell of a year, if you don't mind me saying. I know you started back in September last year. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I have to assume it's still surreal, but again, when an opportunity knocks, you seized it, and I think you've strived and capitalized it. I mean, it's got to be surreal, but want to kind of get your thoughts on that still.
oh yeah. No, it's still very surreal to me. It's already been a year and some months, but it's only been a year since it actually went viral. Because like back last September, we were just trying something out. Like we didn't know, or I was more or less in the mindset of I didn't know if this was going to be a joke or if this was going to be something that people really love. I
Yeah,
was just ready for anything, any outcome, you know. But man, I wasn't expecting it to pop off like it did, and it is still very surreal to me.
yeah, absolutely. Again, quite a hell of a year. Now, I mean, everyone's got their own experience, but I think a lot of people are kind of in this, whether you're a wrestling fan or not. Buddy texted me saying, "Hey, you got to check this out." And with me as a wrestling fan, I'm into a lot of gimmicks in terms of like 80s and 90s professional wrestling. When it comes to like people like the Berserker, the Mountie, Mr. Perfect, the list goes on and on. We get the Undertaker. So when I saw your clip, and I'm like, okay, so these are words that I can actually memorize. I know the whole lyrics to your songs. Just a couple words,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, man, this, he just it's Stephen Flow. It's a play on word, and it's like stuff that I grew up on. So I'm like, you know what? Uh, Gimmicks are back, in my opinion. And I'm like, but the question I had was that there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of faith when it comes to gimmicks, at least in the mainstream wrestling. I don't know if you get that feeling too, but I mean, what are your thoughts in terms of like why aren't people promoting as much gimmicks? Because I mean, first of all, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, the gimmick is out there. It's entertaining. It captures a lot of eyes. I think you're kind of a pretty good example when it all came out. But it
Yeah.
seems like everyone has a problem when it comes to not only gimmicks but also managers as well.
Right. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like it could be because of somebody getting thrown a gimmick and they're not necessarily up to the part of it, or just never really thought about it. I mean, the Steven flow for me, it was like a joke in a car ride because myself and you know him as Cocaine,
Hmm.
Quinn Whitted. Um, we would do car rides and stuff to other wrestling shows and mess with songs that were playing on the radio and stuff. So Steven Flowe was just a joke for probably the last couple of years before even becoming a gimmick. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe some people d- want to try to push a certain thing, like the thing that they're currently trying to work on, versus like, if like something else comes up and then that ends up getting bigger than the thing that they're trying to work on. I feel like that could it could turn some things, like especially like if it's something that someone doesn't necessarily want to be famous for, but this is who you are now, kind of thing. But yeah, it didn't bother me because like before Steven Flow, it was just me trying out a bunch of different stuff to see if what would catch on. Maybe I'll do this move, or this move gets a good reaction. You know, um, a lot of the stuff I was doing before Steven Flow, I incorporated into the Steven Flow move set, but just kind of made it a little pearl.
Well, yeah, I know now. I don't know how many characters you may have had before Stephen Flow. I know you were Joey Dalton, Mister 100, Mister 100,
Yeah.
and I know you had I think it was a Superman punch for the most part, and the theme of the Rockin' Superman. But I also do remember like when you were Joey Dalton wrestling in Adrenaline Ringside Wrestling.
Yeah.
I think you were wrestling in the Wrestling League. I couldn't know if you were like a heel or a baby face.
Right. Yeah, because I was given different roles, and it wasn't necessarily like a main story that I was stuck to. It was just Joey Dalton was just me really switching between baby and heel, and whatever worked for Joey Dalton in the show, that's what we would go with.
Yeah, I mean you're coming out to one day coming out to the Superman theme. The next day you're coming out with Lex Turner by Metallica. The next day
Mm.
you're coming out by Sum 41, and the next day you're coming out with Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. So here are like here are like the several stages of Joey Dalton that actually I can relate to, whether it's whether it's a heel or a baby face. But I
Yeah.
mean like, but going back to the gimmick thing, hearing your perspective, do you think that wrestlers think it's a pride thing? Like, I'm not gonna wear polka dots like Dusty Rhodes did. I'm not
Right.
gonna.
Yeah, I almost feel like that could be a part of it. Some people like want to. I don't know if it's like necessarily like they want to see themselves as like a bigger version of themselves. Like because they do say like with wrestling, you do have to like be yourself, but times like a million times 10. But it just seems like some people take that a little too literal.
Yeah, too serious too. Because wrestling to me is one big soap opera. You're having the capability of telling a story from beginning
Right.
to end,
Mhm.
and and most importantly, it's the entertainment value. So going back to Dusty Rhodes wearing the polka dots, back then it was a complete joke to try to humiliate NWA. But Dusty said, "You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna make the best of this, and it's an entertainment value." And he got over. And I think with the gimmicks, as an example, you're missing a lot of ways to separate yourself. Because if it's Joe Bob against Bob Joe, you're
Right.
kind of vanilla, and I don't think you're going to go anywhere when it comes to having a niche.
Yeah.
So and I think that's really missing. Plus, the money wise, I mean, how much merchandise can you bring in for your kids that are like 14 and under, as an example, for buying merchandise? I mean, pillows, furniture,
Right.
whatever. I mean, there's a whole mountain of reasons why gimmicks are there and should be there. But again, I don't understand why the mainstream media doesn't like progress that. And going back to your video, um, again, not even being not even wrestling fans are looking at this going, man, this is pretty interesting, man, this is pretty
Yeah,
cool, and it's
yeah.
putting eyes.
That was like the main thing I got from that was that I was just surprised about the amount of non wrestling fans that were following me, and like a lot of friends that I've grown up with or people that I see every now and then. The one thing that I hear the most is like, "Hey, I went into work and my guy from work was like, hey, have you heard of Steven Flowe?"
Yeah. Who?
Right.
And then they remember growing up in the 90s and hearing that cool Pearl Jam feel.
Mm,
And here's a guy that's wearing several pairs of flannel and dressing grunge and all that stuff. And again, it brings back to the reminisce of the adults that are in their 40s and 30s, and it just brings
yeah.
back that reminiscence. I just overall I thought it was a really nice experience, and a really nice feel. But I I think that opportunity has excelled you into other opportunities. Obviously,
Oh
you're
yeah.
into super wrestlers, and it advanced towards Juggalo Championship Wrestling, JCW, and it's probably more in between. But I'm not necessarily sure.
Yeah. Super wrestlers and JCW are definitely the most active ones I've been on. And in between those have just been usual like one off bookings or whatever. Um, but no, most of the time, Steven Flow match will probably be at Super Wrestlers or on JCW.
Do you now? Can you tell us the differences between JCW and Super Wrestlers? I think Super Wrestlers is a little bit more of a theatrical wrestling type of event, with more of a gimmicky, which again I dig
Yeah,
and like. Whereas JCW, I think they're trying to excel into more of an advanced mid wrestling niche, if I'm not mistaken. Plus, I mean, with the addings of people that have been in the business, significant figures like, yeah, I mean, you just added Eric Bischoff, which has to be surreal on its own.
right. Yeah,
The figure, whether you like him or hate him, everyone knows who Vince Russo is, and Big
yeah,
Vito's there, which I think the feud that you and Cocaine are in with Big Vito is pretty entertaining.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fun. But I would say the main, I don't know, like a huge difference between Super Wrestlers and JCW is like, yeah, both shows do have their own wacky gimmicks in a sense, but I feel like Super Wrestlers is definitely um the one that is really trying to so like the main difference is like it doesn't feel like another wrestling promotion at Super Wrestlers because there's no like championships or like you got the main prize and all, but like the people that come to see super wrestlers, they're not there to see the world champion. They're there to see the crazy gimmicks. And for JCW, that's like a whole nother thing. Even like for myself, because it was like almost becoming that kid in training again because of all the names that they got there and even on their roster too. Like I've learned a lot from working there. Just like promo wise and wrestling in the ring or like a lot of stuff like camera work. I learned a lot of it from being at JCW over the last year.
Oh, I bet. And I know you kind of came out like, I think you were training with Cocaine, but also a gentleman by the name of Warwick Stevens when you first started out. And
Yeah.
I think you trained in a boxing ring on the north side of Chicago for like 10 months. I was,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just kind of curious, like, that's got to be a challenge of its own because every ring is different. A boxing ring isn't
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
be
Oh no, that
bumped
is way different.
on. Yeah. Yeah.
That is way different.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, what's the biggest significant differences? I mean, is it the ropes? Is this just everything in
Oh,
your ring?
the ropes too. Yeah, those ropes they were tight as they could be, and I was still hitting the ropes and almost like falling out like I'm 600 pounds. You know, But- so there's the ropes. That is a big difference. There's 4 instead of 3, and I would say that the corners are a little bit softer too. Like when you go to hit the corner, um, but it's like the main thing is how it's built. So it's like so the wrestling ring, the wood that it's like different planks, but the wood for the boxing ring is just 4 like sheets of plywood.
Right. Right.
It just feels like living room floor falling on a boxing ring. Like I'd rather take a bump on the grass than in a boxing ring.
Yeah, there. I mean, with the wrestling ring, I mean, there's barely padding on it at all. It really just depends on what ring you get into.
The boxing ring makes the wrestling ring feel almost like bed. That was when I was first coming out of training in the boxing ring all the time, and then when I first took a bump in the wrestling ring, it felt like nothing. Because so my first time ever taking a bump, it was in a wrestling ring, but that was the same day I met Warwick Stevens and Cocaine. Uh, and then Warwick had telling me about a new school that he had opened up or whatever, and he's like, I see a lot of potential in you, and I would really like to train you. Um, we went all for it because it's nothing else I wanted to do in life. And I've had school counselors come up to me like a lot through high school, like, "You sure you want to do this? You sure you don't want to try to look through these colleges?" And I already knew what I wanted to do ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too. Like, I know just kind of hearing interviews in the past. Your family is very wrestling oriented. I mean, I hear from the grapevine that I think you and your brother got named by wrestlers, like, or from wrestlers. Like,
Yeah.
you were named from Steve Austin. I think your
Yeah.
brother was named Eric Bischoff,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and I know your dad was a big, 80s, 90s wrestler, I think.
Oh,
So I have to assume that the support was definitely there when you made that decision. But I mean, like, we all, as we were kids, we all like play in the background, play on the trampolines, and even like when backyard wrestling was kind of like, a little bit hotter than it is today. We all sometimes did that. When was it kind of clear, like, this is something I want to pursue? This is what I want to do. This is, you know, I want to go to the Harley race camps for a week. I want to go to the Wrestle League in Berwyn. I want to do this stuff. When it kind of
right.
click and be like, hey, let's do it.
Yeah. So it like an exact moment for me knowing that I wanted to wrestle was the first moment was when my dad passed away. I was 8, and he was the one that got me into wrestling when I was like 3 or 4 years old. From then up until then, we would reenact the Hulk Hogan and Andre match, because he was or Andre the Giant was his favorite wrestler, and so he would always have to be Andre. Obviously, uh, I wouldn't have been Andre the Giant compared to him. You know, 'cause he would, if he was still around, he would still be powerful. Like my dad was 6'4", 360 pounds at one point,
Yep.
and then but that moment there, and then honestly, my first moment when I like knew for sure I wanted to do this was after I took that first bump in the ring. Like, so one of my friends that I was coming up with in high school, his name was Mitch. He was wrestling maybe about a year or two before I started. He started wrestling, and he's like, "Hey, Steve, there's gonna be a wrestling show at the baseball park down the street this Thursday or whatever." He's like, If you really want to do this, then show up at 10 a.m. baseball park." I showed up and I waited for another like 2 hours before anybody showed up.
Mhm.
I was there on time, and then I'm just sitting there looking like, do these people like know I'm supposed to like be here?
they're hiding or whatever, saying this guy actually showed up.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like, did they rip me? Or like, did my own friend rib me? Like on my first day? But no,
Right.
no. When I first took that bump in the ring, that was when I was like, "Oh yeah, I can do this." That was the first thing I thought when I took that bump. I was like, "Yeah, I can do this."
Is it so when you're fresh out of training? Is it hard to kind of get booked at first, or is it like do the wrestling schools sometimes have events of their own where you can actually participate?
Yeah, so where I was training at first it was just me, Warwick, and Quinn. So for that whole like 10 months, it was just the three of us, and like a couple other students came in and out, but they only lasted like a couple days or even a week. But for the most part, it was just the three of us up until they were called JP Just Pro Wrestling.
Yep.
They merged with us, and then Warwick ended up changing the name to Wrestle League for their anniversary show after joining us. That was
Oh,
when they started running, practices and shows out of the same gym. Um, I would say that when you're first coming up into training, if you do have like if you are training at a school that does, run shows too, I feel like that is a little bit easier to get your name out there because if you're just training in a if you're just training in a ring every once in a while and nobody really knows who you are except for your trainer, then then people just kind of have to go off of your trainer at that point.
yeah. I have to assume, just like everything else, it's based on like your connection networks. Like you just got to talk to people, or even go up to people, and just like uh, if you want a job, just go up to someone and say, "Hey, how do I get into this?" and ask for more advice. I still think that networking really does still help in
Oh yeah.
any
Mhm.
professionalism that you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just kind of curious because I mean, I have to assume that you probably asked and kind of sponged off of people that have been in the business for quite some time. But I didn't know that work was work like I mean, did he own the wrestling school or was he in charge?
No, he didn't own the rest. So not the whole school itself. He was the owner of like the promotion or whatever. But
Okay. Okay.
so the school was it. I think it's still called Hybrid MMA in the city. They don't have pro wrestling anymore, but they have like jujitsu, MMA, boxing, karate, self defense, wrestling, pro wrestling. They had like all of it there at one point. And then some stuff fell through with that place. It was a little it nothing necessarily with the well later on it ended up becoming between the wrestlers and the owner, but at first it was like more tension within the two owners of the gym, and um and it ended up popping off one day, and one of the owners said something to the other one, and the other one was like, I'm out of here. He opened up his own gym somewhere else, and then half of the gym went with him. So, um, yeah, that was a pretty confusing time with that place. But after, like, we could kind of get the feeling, or at least I was getting the feeling that they didn't want us there anymore for wrestling. And like I was getting that like long before they even decided to make the move from because Wrestle League was training out of there and they moved to the Berwyn Eagles Club.
Okay.
That's where they're training out of now. But yeah,
That's interesting.
that was some stuff back
Huh.
then.
Well, yeah, drama seems to be a lot in politics in the wrestling business from what I'm seeing. So now I'm not in the inside and whatnot, but I have eyes, and I do notice that there's a lot of unnecessary drama when it comes to wrestling, if I may be so bold to say, which is a shame because I mean, if everyone just kind of put their egos aside, maybe I don't know, maybe it would
Right.
be a lot more potential for everyone to make money, everyone to be successful. But you got some folks out there that maybe beg to differ, dog eat dog world type of thing, which I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
Never really understood the whole ego thing. I mean, I wouldn't name names, but there has been a time where Uh, I walked into a locker room and then somebody's looked at me and be like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'll be like, "All right, I'll see you next time." you
Yeah.
know, you know, see you
Yeah.
next time. I ain't gonna say shit to you.
Right. Or you go into a locker room and you gotta, shake the hands due to respect and whatnot. I mean,
Right.
there's so many like rules and regulations in the locker room, and I mean, I get it. Some people feel maybe they feel threatened in terms of some people. Hey, I'm going to lose my spot because it's up because this person that
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
a
I
little
get
more
that kind of
popular.
feeling too. And another kind of feeling I got too, like after going and doing a few shows with JCW, I kind of get the feeling of wrestlers or people that I've been working with, regularly, like in Illinois or Wisconsin, Indiana, like the regular people that I worked with are kind of somewhat felt a little standoffish. I don't know if it's because of them thinking I got a big ego from it, or if it's just because uh, I honestly don't know. But like some people are, like have given me that vibe that they think that I get like an ego or something. And then when I go over a match with them, like if we're wrestling and we go over a match, they seem like, oh, all right. Like I make them feel comfortable. Like I'm not, I don't, I don't view myself better than anybody. I don't view anybody better than me.
Right. And again, it just you don't have to be friends with everyone. You just have to be more professional. And and,
Right.
and again, this is any industry that you're in, but it seems like wrestling's more tripped up on that. And I guess I don't understand the fucking testosterone that fucking goes into some of these promotions and whatnot. Like, do you want to make money? And if so, you got to fucking work with me, buddy. I'll listen to
Yeah.
all the. If I was someone new into the business and really green, of course I'm going to sponge on everyone. But you don't have to throw the fucking blinds across my face and whatnot. So that's just me.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Well, let me ask you this too. When you were starting to get, I mean, did you grow up in the? Were you like watching the ruthless aggression area, or were you like in
Yeah,
the
I was watching the Ruthless Aggression. Yeah.
Okay, now here's a thing because I have to watch my age growing in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s with NWA, AWA, WCCW, and of course the Monday Night Wars. And I always have to watch myself because when I'm someone's version of a Monday Night Wars, maybe like John Cena against CM Punk as an example.
Right.
Now, even though you did watch the Ruthless Aggression era and grew up ever since on that, was that like your favorite era, or did you feel like more like did you ever really get into more of the 80s and 90s? Only reason why I ask is because again, going back to the gimmick, kind of leaning towards maybe a different era, but I could be totally wrong in terms of your favorite.
Right. So I would say for me, yeah, the for growing up wise, yeah, the Ruthless Aggression era is probably my favorite. That was the era of like SmackDown versus Raw video game coming out, and
Oh yeah.
like I don't know, I feel like Raw and SmackDown just had two really good rosters at that time, and honestly, I say growing up that is my favorite um time because now my favorite time is honestly the wrestling world today.
Mhm.
Um I feel like there's a lot more ways to go see wrestling now outside of watching WWE because that's what a lot of people grew up on. That's what I didn't know that there was other indies until I was 15 years old.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I only knew about WWE, TNA, and Japan. That was it. I didn't know about anything else. And Luke Underground, I saw some of that. Till I was 15, I didn't know that anything else existed.
Same. And I think and I can agree with you in some perspectives. Now, me and Chocolate, we're kind of casual wrestling fans. I mean, we're
Very.
yes, and I think one of the things that was a challenge, at least for me, I can't speak for Chocolate in this one. Um, During the time that WWE was it, they started to get stale because there was no competition to threaten them around there. So whatever WWE did went, and unfortunately, kind of it went stale to the product to the point where everyone's so thirsty for a variety that they're willing to drink the sand. So it was
Yeah.
nice to have variety in terms of TNA. I do have hopes for AEW, and over the past 2 or 3 years, I think that ever since some folks have taken the realm, so to speak, when it comes to WWE, that it has gotten a lot better. So in some retrospects, my heart is still in the old school days, but I do see the potential when it comes to wrestling today. And like you said, there's a lot more variety. If I don't like WWE, I can watch TNA. If I don't like TNA, I can watch Atomic Drops and eye gouges over an independent show. So and gimmicks.
Right.
So you're absolutely right on that one. But yeah, I was just kind of curious because even though someone did grow up in an era, maybe they were more fond of like ECW back in the '90s, or as an example.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I've definitely heard about that too. Yeah, just from fellow wrestlers, them saying, "Oh, I was watching this from the '70s last night," or like, or some of them are watching today's stuff. Some of them aren't even watching today's wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like I try to keep up with some things, outside of WWE. Like, honestly, like whatever would come up on my YouTube feed. Like sometimes it's a MLW show, or sometimes it's uh like one of those bigger indie promotions, like a full show will come up on the screen. And sometimes I'll watch one of those just to kind of see like who else like is out there like that I could possibly, maybe do something with.
I mean, we actually got into there's a promotion called Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. If you haven't heard from it, I would encourage. And with we had a gentleman by the name of Josh Allen that is the owner of TBW. And when I think of backyard, I think, and I even told him like a month ago when we were when he was on the show. When I thought of backyard wrestling, I thought, okay, here come the fluorescent light bulbs. Here comes the unorganization of no storylines. Here comes kids just fucking around and getting themselves hurt with no
Right. Yeah.
fucking insurance, but this place, as an example, is incredibly organized. Their production is absolutely fucking phenomenal, and it was another vein when it comes to another variety. So not only are you getting it not only mainstream but independent, but also there are some uh, backyard wrestling or some other venues that you can do too. So, but yeah, going back to your point, there is a lot of wrestling, more than I can handle, unfortunately. But there are those gems where we will just be like, look, I'm ready to go. I can't wait to see, this particular promotion. And go, yeah, chocolate.
I was going to say, what it comes down to is everyone is trying to eat everything in the buffet, and you don't have to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just like that's just fucking wild to me. It's like you just enjoy, like when you come across something, like when you go to the buffet, do you always have the same plate? You always eat the French fries with the pizza out there.
Right.
Okie, I'm looking at you, and but I'm just saying, like, no, you want to try something different each time. So, like, I mean, there was a time when, like, this is how casual we were. That one day our friend Missionary from Wrestling Soup was he tapped into a feed with like indie shows from like all over the fucking country for the weekend, and we came across Warhorse fighting 3 bears in a bingo hall, and we
Yeah.
just fucking loved it.
Yep.
We were just hooting and hollering.
Yep.
And so, I mean, things like that, just you find these nuggets, these gems, and like going back to a TBW, we came across this thing from ESPN 8 the Ocho, and we just once the music hit though, it was like boom. Once we saw this gentleman of the name of Gage Flair, who is the last great Flair, just boom, sold. Just you'll find these, and you just gotta sift through. Otherwise, you're eating pizza and nuggies all the time, Agent K. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to you, Don. Over.
So yeah, more of the story. I think there is a lot of variety, and obviously social media helps that existence. The algorithms in your YouTube helps that existence because we would have never found the stuff that we did find if it wasn't for that, you know. And a lot of people watch TikTok and the Book Face and MySpace if it even exists anymore, and that's how we found yourself and others when it comes to the reputation. So, but yeah, I was just kind of curious in that one. Now, I do know when it comes to wrestling, obviously there's going to be some injuries, some bumps and bruises, but you, uh, tell tell me about. There are 26 bones in a foot, and you broke 5 of them, and I can't even pronounce this fucking shit.
So,
Metatarsals, right?
well, yeah, I broke my first 2 metatarsals in 14 pieces.
Jesus Christ! So you just created like fucking 40 more bones in your body.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
from what I'm understanding, you've been in the business for about 2.5 years during this time frame.
Yeah.
You think you were practicing with body slams or something like that in your
Yep.
training. Can you tell me what fat ass you were picking up to have that cause of this breaking?
So, Alright, so I'm just gonna say that he was an active member of the Wrestle League roster at the time,
Okay.
and he did weigh about 330 pounds,
Uh-huh.
I would assume. Um,
That's 3 times a Steven Flowe, let me mind you.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So like, we're doing this body slam circle or whatever. So I'm standing in the middle of the ring, and one guy comes out, I give him a body slam. The next guy comes out, I give him a body slam. And I get to like maybe 4 or 5 people, and I get to the last person, and here's his big ass. And then I'm looking at the trainer, I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna slam him. There is not gonna be a time where this makes sense for me. This was when I was still Mr. 100 the superhero.
On
I'm
shit.
like, you see Superman lifting up a whole planet? I'm not doing that.
I understand my reality over here, sir.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to lift a lot for me to get him up
No,
there.
I'm like, dude, I'm like looking up like, I'm just, I'm like, I'm like gonna, big ass. So, so he's like, all right, so we'll just go for the world's strongest slam, you know,
Oh shit.
just come up and then like the halfway, like he'll jump up, then we'll go down together kind of thing. But so when I had him up, I don't know. I think it was because of how he was posting. That's what I heard from other people uh in the class. I had so like with a body slam, you're supposed to be posting up on the upper hip area, but he was posting on my knee. So when we went down, my foot stayed flat on the ground, and only this leg went back. And my foot pretty much like he landed on my leg, and then imagine my foot staying flat, but my knee fucking touching the ground.
Oh my
It really,
Christ.
like shattered everything in my foot. So
Jesus Christ.
my foot was like flat here, and then it just pushed my knee down, touched the mat.
Holy shit, dude. Now
Yeah, it felt like 4 little like pops in the bottom of my foot.
oh my God.
Yeah, and I knew that was something serious because I had actually broken my foot when I was 10 years old wrestling my brother. He gives me a freaking tombstone pile driver, and my my foot comes like off of the edge of the bed and it like hits this wooden dresser, and so I broke my foot in 2 places when I was 10 years old, and I didn't even cry from that. But I was 19 years old when this happened. And I was in tears. I was like, it was the type of pain that made me nauseous. Like, I
I
almost threw up.
I
How?
can't imagine, man. Like I know it's hard to break first of all, I've never heard this, but apparently it's common, I guess. I guess it makes sense. But I mean, because it's on the top of your foot, but that takes a lot of force to perform to break that. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, it was a lot. The fucking doctors told me it looked like my foot got shot.
Okay, nice, Doctor Feelgood. Thanks. Are you gonna fucking fix it now?
Right, yeah. It
Holy
looks like
shit.
somebody shot your foot. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
feels like it too.
How many pills are you gonna give me? How long is this gonna take? You know what I'm saying? So, but
Yeah, so they actually they freaking gave me Norco after my surgery. Threw up from that shit, so I just was taking Tylenol and then that was fine. The
okay,
Tylenol I had in my freaking cabinet. I'm like, they didn't even need to give me that stuff.
Jesus. Did that kind of give you any hesitation in terms of like, should I pursue this? Is this worth it type of thing? Or
No, I knew I wanted to still wrestle, but it was just a matter of how long it was gonna take to get back in and how like how my foot would be because it my foot's still not at 100%. Excuse that. So like after the surgery, like they told me that it was damaged. There was nerve damage, moved tendons, and 14 pieces of bone they took out of my foot. So, like right after my surgery, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of messed up because I went to sleep when I got home, and yeah, I woke up. And when I woke up, the nerve block was gone.
Jesus, Steven, come on, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I woke up and the nerve block was gone, and I was that was worse than even breaking it. That was I can't even imagine that feeling that again. That was
Holy,
and as crazy as it sounds, that pain has made me almost somewhat immune to like smaller levels of pain. The one thing that I really figured that out was when I got hit in the nuts and it didn't hurt.
well, okay. So when you get full blasted hitting the nuts, it doesn't hurt. But if you get flicked in the sack, that is the most painful motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, fucking a man.
Yeah,
I don't
there's been many
understand that
times
shit.
where
It's
we
Yeah.
go for a move in the ring, and then when we land, I accidentally get hit in the nuts, and then I just have to lay there, just wait
oh,
for it to go
oh.
away.
It's just I can't move, man. Can you stall or something? Like Jesus
It's
Christ.
like it's like the difference between getting slicing your finger with a knife and getting a fucking paper cut or a cardboard cut.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, and it's the
Oh
Yeah.
most.
god, my nuts hurt
Oh,
just
by the
I'll
way,
be back.
freaking stubbing my toe hurts 10 million times more now than it ever had.
Yeah,
Oh, I feel
Yeah.
you, brother. I feel you.
yeah. I fucking stubbed my toe the other day. I thought I had a broken foot. It's just, but yeah, I mean, like I thought that when I fucked up when I dislocated my patella and when I fucked up my knees from chop blocks in football and all this other shit, I thought that hurt. The fucking like the 14 pieces. I don't know, man. That
No.
seems a
Yeah.
lot more worse. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, that was too much. So after the surgery was when I really felt all of it. That was when I felt the stitches, the cuts, like the move tendons, the nerve damage, the fresh new metal in my foot. Like I felt all of it all at once, and when that nerve block wore off, and I'll let you know right now, the the medicine that they gave me didn't do a damn thing. But when I smoked a bowl of weed,
Yeah, yes.
it
Oh
put me
yeah.
right out. It put me
Oh
Chuck,
right
yeah.
out.
Choco, you understand this.
Oh yeah, I can attest 100% to the medicinal use of cannabis,
Mhm.
and even now more so with CBD. But yeah, like the pills and shit. I mean, I'm practically a hippie with the tinfoil hat these days. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, um,
I'm not really too much of a pill person because
yeah.
yeah I don't know
It's band-aids at this point. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
Like
how
what?
addictions start and shit.
Exactly. Oh my god, I love you, kid. That's smart.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to do pills for the longest time. I always did like holistic stuff. I mean, mostly because I didn't know any better. But it's like it took me a long time. I was like 40 some years old before I finally had like a morphine, for surgery and
Yeah,
stuff.
like,
So
by
yeah,
B20s, I would say was when I stopped like experimenting with other shit and just kept with weed. You know,
yeah.
it was but it was. 20 or 21, I was sold a fake ecstasy.
Oh.
Yep. Oh
Oh,
man,
fuck.
that shit made my whole damn body numb.
Holy shit,
Mhm.
dude.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna freaking overdose.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
To be
so
honest,
I had to scare with pill or with that, so that I don't like pills anymore, or I'm afraid of pills now. Actually,
Just send them over my way. I'll take all the pills.
yeah,
You
oh
can have
yeah, he'll.
whatever. But oh yeah, just
Yeah.
44, baby, 44. It's
Oh
an inside
shit.
joke. But no, well, but weed's got to be a lot more potent today. I mean, I took
Well, yeah.
gummies a couple years ago, and holy shit! I mean, I smoked weed when I was kids and all that stuff, just like everyone else. And some did it, some didn't. Really, just depends on who's fucking giving it to you. If it's the
right.
fucking like purple stuff in the middle there, as an example, or whatever. But the gummies that I took were so potent to the point where I don't know if I even want to do weed any fucking more, man. I don't know if I want to do like I took two of them. You're not supposed to. It's supposed to work in like one gummy for 45 minutes. And I said,
Oh, I
I'm
don't
not.
listen to that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't. Steve, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Steve, just let him talk. It's all good.
yeah, dude. No, I took 4 or
Just give him
5,
head pats.
gentlemen. I took 4
Yeah.
fucking
Uh
5 in like an hour, and apparently
huh.
that's not a
Listening,
very good
Steve.
idea.
Of
So
course.
of course he says. I was awake in 60-degree air conditioning, and I didn't even feel anything. It took me a fucking hour to blueprint my fucking trash can from there to the driveway. It was ridiculous. So I said, no way. I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'll just stick to the fucking pills where I can manage it.
That's fair.
Yeah, edibles don't really do shit to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It helps me sleep. That's about it. But so I have had a couple really fun shroom trips though.
Hey, attaboy.
Yeah, it's yeah, I've had a moment where I was with two of my best friends, and one of my friends, he was like, "Nah, I keep having shrooms, man, but I swear to God, if this shit don't do nothing to me now, that's the last time I'm doing this shit."
I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, "All right." So, with me and my two other friends had the shrooms, and then um, like an hour or two later, everything felt like everything looked like a very classic Disney cartoon in a way. It was so it's like it wasn't even like the way everything looked. It was the way everything was moving felt like a cartoon. Like the way that I don't know why I remember this, but the way that my friend started laughing and the way his neck went up when he started laughing. That's what made me. Yeah, that shit got me. I'm not gonna lie.
Holy shit. That's a hell of a time, man. It's
Yeah, we were laughing for about 8 hours straight, just
yeah.
laughing. I thought I was gonna die of laughter, literally.
Yep. Yep. It's not it's it I like it. I do, but what I don't like is the trippiness as you're going up the roller coaster. But then after that feeling, and it starts to actually do its fucking job and goes down, but it takes me fucking forever to get there. So I just decided, fuck that. I'm just not gonna do it again.
Yeah, yeah, that's not all the time thing for me. I gotta know that I'm not doing nothing that day.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, phone a friend. Holy shit. Kind of staring towards back. Your first appearances in Super Wrestlers. Um, well, we all know the story of the road trip in terms of getting the Steven Flowe name and all that stuff. When did it actually occur to be like, let's make this into a character?
So it was after the Super Wrestlers show, I believe, right before the Stephen Flow Super Wrestler, the first ever Stephen Flow. I think it was the show before that where we were sitting in Billy Wack's basement after the show, just drinking and smoking and stuff. I'm sitting down there with Billy Wack, obviously, and Cocaine Quinn
Yep.
and uh, his brother, uh, and a few other people were down there, I think. But we're listening to music, and then all of a sudden, Even Flow comes up on the radio, and then Quinn looks right at me, and he was like, "Should I do it?" Damn right you do it. So he looks right at Billy Wack, and he's like, "Hey, Steven Flowe." And then Billy Wack's like he's about to like hit something, and then as he's like about to smoke, like he hears it, and then he's like, and then he looks right at me, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta do it. You gotta do it."
That's fucking hilarious. Was
Uh,
was was Alex Fisher there, or was he?
Was he? I so that night I don't remember a whole lot of who was there that night, but I do remember the night after it popped off the December 8th show last year, I believe. December 8th last year. Uh that was when I think it was just me, Quinn, and Billy Whack in the basement, just the three of us, and we were just sitting there watching the views go up on X on Twitter.
Nice.
They went up on Twitter that night of Super Wrestlers, and about a week later is when it went viral on everything else.
For those of you who don't know Alex Fisher, I think he does most of the songs for Super Wrestlers. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. Alex Fisher is one of the singers of Steven Flowe.
That's fucking hilarious. Like I said, I'm not the smartest bulb in the box, so to speak, but I know all the words to that theme, which is good. Now, from what I hear too, Choc, were you gonna say something, sir?
Oh no, I'm just like, bro, like that's awesome. Like, oh boy, with that theme and the others. But go ahead.
I didn't even realize that. Not only like it was like not only in the car ride too, but it was also like in front of Billy, and like the timing of it, like here it fucking comes, cocaine,
Right.
hit it, baby, and then just the whole
Yeah.
fucking idea like came in at, at a later time too.
It was one of those moments where it was like, damn, that probably was supposed to happen. Like,
Yep.
like there's a lot of things, in life that just feel like it was not supposed to go any other way than it did.
Sure. Now, I hear that. So when you're doing your debut, and Billy Whack and Alex Fisher are doing their thing, is it true that you didn't hear the theme song until 15 minutes before bell time?
Yeah, that's right. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
I
wait,
heard. So
what?
the show was about to start, and then
Yeah.
I go running upstairs, and then I go up to Alex Fisher, and I'm like, "Is there any chance I could hear the song because I haven't yet?" Yeah. He pulls it right up. I got the Steven Flow thing on the screen, and I hear it how it started because I just wanted to hear how it started and like how it sounded. So it was that, and then I think I was match 3 that night, so I had about an hour from that time to really think about what I was gonna. That whole first entrance was just improvised. That was me just doing whatever came to my mind in the moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it probably takes some playing in terms of like what am I gonna do, where am I gonna throw my hands up and all that stuff, and you had
Yeah,
just
I
this.
just thought about doing the this when I come out.
Yep.
And then when I get around the corner, climb the pole like Eddie Vedder would climb something.
Yeah.
That's my little dig at Eddie Vedder. I climb the back of the post instead of the easy way of doing it.
Wow. Yeah. Holy moly. And who was the first opponent again? I think his name was
Siphon.
Siphon, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. Yeah, I think he was making his debut or something like that too. But I could be totally wrong on that. So
I think so. It might have been. So he was in the rivalry with Shogun, and I think that show before that might have been the show where he interfered in Shogun's match or something, but they had a feud going on. And I think that my match with Cypher, that was our both of our first matches that super wrestlers. I think he was just a part of like segments and stuff.
yeah, kind of going back to the super wrestlers. I mean, we one of my favorites is I think Chocolate's too. I think I could speak for him. DeLayman Young,
Yeah.
the slowest, the world's slowest chef. Uh, Biff Beware is another favorite. He's the most jacked up guy, but like loses in 6 seconds. Dude, this is what I'm talking about, man. I don't understand why they don't do more stuff like this and make it into a bigger thing. It just cracks me the fuck up. You got Pubic Moose. Need I explain more? You got the rivalry of U.S. A-hole against Canadad. Canadad's fucking hilarious. So and then you got Pharaoh Smith and Cleopatra, and of course your rivalry with Vlad Bladder, the 1,000-year-old teenage kid. Dude, Super Wrestlers cracks me the fuck up, man. And the only thing I wish that they would do is and I think we understand why they do this, why Billy does this. We always like the 2-hour, 3-hour shows like consistent. Now it's like a breakup in terms of like part 1, part 2. I don't know if you know that or have delved into that when it comes to the videos, but the episodes.
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, so the episodes came in like 2 or 3 hours, and but he broke it up. I think again, I think trying to get more views and whatnot, which makes sense. So
yeah,
but yeah, we all loved Super Wrestlers over
Oh,
here.
dude. It literally is like Christmas. That's not even like ball washing or hyperbole. Like in our server that you've seen, like there is a fan base of people who do fucking get like, oh, new super wrestlers. Fuck yeah. We got at least 2 or 3 guys posting clips of like super wrestlers of TBW. It's really neat to see that, it's not just like big fed names. I mean, yeah, we like at Boast, we watch big name shows like, or not big name, but I'm saying mainstream shows rather, to just do Mystery Science Theater shit to it. We just talk crap the whole time or just have fun with it. And we end up not really paying attention unless it's a really good match. That's when it's good because we all shut the fuck up.
yeah.
And so most time with like super wrestlers, like we're not even cracking jokes. We're just like watching all the gimmicks and shit, like Rydal and Ryor when they were fighting for like, we're gonna take all of you fuckers as slaves back to the planet. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was cool.
Captivating. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so even to the point where I've shown non-wrestling fans, like I've showed them your videos, like your music video and stuff, for just playing your theme song. And they're fucking like, oh my god, we gotta go see this shit. Like, how far is Chicago? I'm like, that's like an 8-hour drive. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool venue too. I mean, it happens like once every quarter, and a lot of folks, everybody is getting into it. Like they're getting to the chance, and they're not being like, you know how fans are like there just to like ruin shit or be as obnoxious as possible.
Or
right? Like, what am I? Fuck this wrestling shit. What am I doing here?
I'm bigger than this, bro.
There's nobody like that that I saw in that fan base, and everyone's just having a great time, and the wrestlers can see their interactions with them having a good time too.
You can see everybody having fun, dude, and that's what we love about that. And gimmicks aside, whatever, it's just, oh my god. I'm gonna shut up. I got a boner. I'll be back.
Jeez. Well, anyways, so while Chaco is having a wacko session over there, we obviously know super wrestlers, and you have progressed and seizing the opportunity and getting into the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I was just kind of curious in terms of like who initially reached out to you for that. I didn't realize you were in JCW for that for like a year as well.
Yeah. So right after the video went viral, so like Cocaine, he had went viral a couple months before I did, and he was already on JCW.
Yeah.
It turned out Violent J is a big Pearl Jam fan. He had a couple of the management there, hit me up and wanted to get some information and stuff. it was honestly a very short talk before they were like, "Yeah, you're in with us February for Juggalo Week." That was when I met everybody there last February. My first match was a big 6-man or a four way, I think. 4-way, and that was with uh Kong, Mosh Pit, and Colby Carino.
That's right. I think you had a pretty good match with Colby.
Yeah,
During that time.
that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you had I think you had a really good match with Cocaine, and that was probably easy because I know you guys are close. But with I really like this big V. I'll be honest with you. I've been watching JCW for the past couple months, and
Mhm.
when uh, the financial advisor, or whatever it is, Big Vito came out, I think he does better with being in JCW than because he could be himself. Whereas when he was in like the mainstream, it was kind of like, okay, I'm wearing a dress. Now what do I do? Type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I could
So
see that, yeah.
yeah. So, but when he gets to take a look at, he gets out of his limo. The outbreak is fucking scratching and clawing on the limo, or whatever. And I forgot what his manager was. They have to get out. Chuck, if you haven't seen these guys, the outbreaks, they are
Yeah, but I
walk.
gotta say something about them, man.
Please,
They're probably my favorite tag team right now.
dude.
Fucking anywhere, they're my favorite tag team
I
because they do not break gimmick. They do not break their character.
no.
Like their wrestling, it doesn't look like wrestling either. Like I don't know. Like I could wrestle the Outbreak anytime, and I'd have a good time wrestling them.
Yeah, they're in character the entire way. Like they're like they have no bones and they're slipping and sliding in the ring and all that stuff. Even
Yeah.
when they go like over the ropes to tag and all that stuff,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just I saw them against the Brothers of Funkstruction, uh,
Hmm.
and that's the first time I got a glimpse of the Outbreak, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is right at my alley again, and it works obviously, and I just again, I'm really just baffled in terms of why the main street doesn't do that. I mean, I know they had their dip in the Wyatt Six as an example, which unfortunately, that's got to get a little bit better in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, you have uh, Big Vito saw Cocaine doing his thing in the bathroom and all that stuff, almost getting fired, and then he used you as a like, look, motherfucker, if you don't win or whatever, you're about to get fucked up. So I like the storyline between you and Big Vito, and obviously when Vince Russo came in, that again, that's got to be surreal. Again, whether you like him or not, he is a big icon in wrestling. Um, do you have any thoughts in terms of like Vince Russo? How was he in the back, and even the boys in JCW as a whole? There, I think you mentioned it in.
Yeah. I was gonna get to that. So like my first time there, that was my first. I would say my first introduction into actual like real um like professional wrestling. I would
Okay.
say.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, it kind of made me feel like the kid learning again, coming in. Even though I do have the 9, 10 years of experience, I felt like and it's just learning from people in the back. Like my favorite thing is how welcoming everybody is there. Like I got that right away. My first 2 days there, like I was cool with everybody by the second day. It was like because the way I am in locker rooms, I kind because you never know like if you're gonna get you know people that are like clipped up with their own group or people that are have very high egos or you do get those going locker rooms. Like I wouldn't say that the job is easy by any means, but the way with how welcoming everybody is and how smoothly everything is ran there, it does make everything 10 times easier than what it could be. Um, and working with Vince Russo, honestly, is actually really good. Uh, I haven't had any problems so far. You know, I haven't had any problems at all working with JCW ever since starting there. But like even with Vince Russo like coming in, I feel like there are a couple things that are running a little bit smoother, but I can't really put my finger on it quite yet. But like there is definitely a different feeling, but it's all the same. It's kind of hard to describe, but more or less, like I am really enjoying my time there and working with Vince Russo. It's really fun.
Yeah, I have to assume like the professionalism's always going to be there, but everyone's in the back of their mind like, hey, this is Vince Russo. This is actually a pretty. They're not like marking out per se, but they're like,
Mhm.
wow, this is a pretty cool experience, and the fact that this
Yeah,
guy
and
is.
that's the thing too. Like I feel like if this was any almost any other locker room that I'm in, like people would like a lot of people on the roster would think of it like that. Like, holy shit, like it's this man. Like, no, we're still here to do business. Like, like yeah, like we've all done our own things in the business, but now when we're working together, like this is what we're focused on now. Like that's
No,
what I but,
no doubt. So everyone, it sounds like everyone wants to make themselves, or it sounds like everyone wants to make everyone better. It's
yeah,
not. It's
it
not a selfish thing.
almost feels like when there's a name there, like some people almost try to live up to that name's expectations, you know, or they try to show off in a way that they don't usually do, and it just goes downhill for them. But uh,
Disingenuine.
yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, and that's always the fear too, in terms of like, oh, here's a big name in our company, and maybe the tone has been set more. But obviously, it sounds like everything's been pretty smooth. I don't know Vince Russo per se, so you always hear like that's the man that killed WCW and all this other stuff, and
that was all I heard. What up until I met him was the shit talking that was about him. But I don't got no shit to talk about the guy.
mhm.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
They're trying to make their beefs they're trying to make their beefs your beef. It's like, wow, that's my
yeah.
name's Paul, and that's between y'all. I'm
Hmm.
just here to work and make money. Fuck.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Absolutely. So
I don't know if you guys touched on this. I kind of got I had to step away for a second. Uh, do you ever feel like people starfuck your name, like when you go out to like other places? Like they try to, with the whole like going viral and all that, like, it's like, oh man, we got Steven here, and then try to. Oh, that's weird because with the whole egos thing, and I'm not good with the words or the social skills, as they say. But yeah, do you ever feel like now with like the celebrity comes, it's like getting an inheritance, an unexpected inheritance,
um.
and now everybody wants to be your friend or is your cousin.
Yeah, I do kind of. eh, I
Like you
have.
ever get that vibe sometimes.
Yeah, I have felt like that at some places. Like, I mean, before Steven Flow happened, it was just like more or less us being known as Quinn and his buddy, or the Flight Club, Quinn and Joey. But a lot of the times I would just ride with Quinn to his bookings or vice versa. But even if I wasn't booked on the show, I would still come around, and like it's still like that to this day. But back then versus now, it's like people do look at me as my own instead of um uh,
Just
that,
oh
that, that is a good feeling. Uh,
oh, hang on,
I
it's cutting
I
out.
have felt like uh there was a freaking place I wrestled for not too long ago, and we had been in talks. I would say maybe like at least a couple months before the show even happened. And like it was supposed to be a really big show, um, but the show didn't end up being promoted until like a month before, and Steven Flow wasn't even promoted until like 5 days before the thing. So like I don't know if they thought that like the last minute announcement would bring more people in or whatnot.
Right.
Like I was trying to tell them too. I was like, just post collaborate with me on the like more people will see it, but that didn't turn out too well.
Oh, that's how like because I see that happen sometimes. Like just like people think that they're going to get numbers by association. It's like, oh cool, I got this guy who's hit this big, like this one time, big time jackpot, sure, and then, oh, he's going to come in, now we're going to share in this, we're going to revel in it. And it's like, when you think to yourself like, well, it's not really how it works. Like I'm here to work, like despite me having past performance does not guarantee future fucking fortune. So it's like with these kind of people. But it's because I see that happen, like, I don't know, with the podcast game where we have friends who have people just jump in and kind of like, hey, da da da, now we're popular too. It's like, sorry, but anyway, it's wrestling. But yeah, so I mean, just I can see people coming up and being star fuckers. Like Eddie Valentino says, T-Pain learned that the hard way.
Oh yeah.
So shit like that. It's like,
Yeah, I do kind of like get the feeling a little bit, but like even like with stuff like that, it's like it's almost like the same feeling of people kind of being standoffish until like we start going over and acting.
Oh yeah.
We don't so like we are still cool. Like it's kind of like the same like that. Like it's almost like we try to I don't know if it's like them trying to like get on my good side though, or just like
Right.
it could be anything, but it's more or less like the same feeling. I'm like, dude, I don't have a high ego about myself. Like,
right, yeah.
We're here to do business, and this is what they called me here to do. So let's
do business. We'll talk story and have fun afterwards. Fuck it. And if that's how is when they're around afterwards. Because I can totally see, like, if we went to a show, we could hang out and totally play Mario Kart 64 afterwards, like fucking go smoke a couple blunts. Like, I totally see it, and that's what I'm down for. Yeah. That's what I expect out of you, you bastard. No, but it's like, but no, I don't know. I see that shit happen. So I'm glad you got your eyes on, that's what's up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don, you good? Oh, good.
Yep. Hello. Yep. And I agree on that too. It's like I know that people are like the viral sensation, all that stuff. I think there's a lot more to that, especially like over the past year of, again, ever since the video went out.
Hello?
Yep. Hello? Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you guys anymore.
Oh, shit. Hello? Choco?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Am I here?
Oh, okay, good. Don's talking.
Can you hear me, Steven? Anybody?
Yeah, Steven, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear Don?
No.
Okay.
What the hell?
I know. DR, try pop back in and out.
Okay. Well,
right.
some bitch.
Okay, well, we'll see. Let's say, yeah, fucking, it's just a night for technical difficulties. So fucking, say if everyone wants to just kind of take a piss break or pop back in and out. How you holding up over there? Thanks for bearing with us through all this shit, buddy.
No problem,
I appreciate you.
No problem.
Fucking. So shit. While Don's he's back in. I was gonna torture you with some questions, fun ones.
Oh yeah.
No, you're good. Hey, there he is.
Hey, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Oh well, I can.
Steven, can you hear me?
Are you asking if I could hear you?
Yeah, he can't hear you, man.
No, well, goddamn.
You wanna maybe hit F5 or refresh?
F5.
Well, F5 is refresh, Don. Come on.
Well, I didn't know if you were serious or not on this. So.
I run a computer, Don. What do you want?
I don't know.
So the crowd can hear you. So I don't know what's going on. It's StreamYard's being a penis. Discord's doing that. My recording software fucking shit the bed. So
Oh well. Uh,
Steve,
I
do you want to try and pop back in and out? Try and refresh the StreamYard.
Yeah,
Sometimes it helps. Please.
Yeah.
And thank you. Peas and carrots, as they say.
No, I was gonna say like I don't when it comes to the viral sensation and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
think I don't personally like that type of term. I think
Yeah.
it to me it was just a great opportunity that opened up for Steven, and obviously
Yeah.
he's capitalized on that by
For sure, as you should.
yeah. So,
But
but
he's
but
not writing that thing up everyone's assholes and making like meme coins and shit.
right, right. But
You know?
I did like your point in terms of how you express that. I didn't know how he took that per se. I had to pop out again. So.
Nah, you're good. Yeah. I heard some ratcheting going on. Let's see. Okay.
All right, Steven, can
Let
you
me
hear
up.
me?
yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy.
All right.
No, I was saying the chocolate and that the term like viral sensation as an example. I personally don't like that. Just because it's like it feels to me like it's a one and done type of thing, which I think in your case it's not the case. I think it's an
Yeah.
opportunity that opened the door for you, and it took you to another venue in your career, in my opinion. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
You
Definitely.
got
Absolutely. So, but yeah, that's honestly that's all I had on my end. Chocolate. I didn't know if you had any questions that you want to ask Steven.
I did have a few. I wish I wrote them down. I was kind of, dropping all those shit everywhere. But no, it was mostly just I don't know, simple shit, but I wish I wrote them down. If I was to challenge you to a version of Tetris, what would it be? And how badly would I lose?
I think I would lose.
Oh, you don't play Tetris. All right, no. Then what's your challenge game of choice? Like for me, back when I used to be able to, before I had a super high tolerance of weed, we would have Wing Wednesday, Mario Kart Wing Wednesday. We just buy 40 wings because they were BOGO, and we just smoke up and play Mario Kart 8. So I mean, what would be like your game of choice, or if at all, or what would be your preferred activity of choice? Not just you, but like with your homies, with the homies. So like say Billy and them.
right. So like if we're talking about video game wise,
Sure, yeah.
I'm usually a college player. Or
Okay.
yeah. I did used to play the WWE games, but after a while those felt like the same, so I don't play that shit anymore.
You're 100 fucking percent on that. No, I can't. They're dress up simulators at this point.
Yeah,
Like we,
just
huh?
Call of Duty really.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fine. Then that means you grew up out of it, and you're a much more mature man than I will ever be. Because I play shit all the time. It's so I don't go crazy and punch walls. I think, but no, that's pretty dope. Like because me and Don and Dr. Brian and a lot of villagers, we do Among Us nights, where we just kind of fuck around and just kill each other and hurl minor slurs at each other.
yeah,
Fun stuff. Fun
yeah.
stuff.
Mario Kart. Yeah, that does sound like fun. I haven't played that since man, I
Oh.
was maybe 14.
Oh shit. I feel real fucking old. Thanks. What about have you ever played Among Us or any of like the free stuffs?
No, I have not. No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. How about Jackbox? Like
No.
murder trivia. Oh, well, we got to get you on there. You're gonna have fun with that. But that. We'll show you that shit another time.
I'll try it out at them new games. Oh yeah.
No, it's not. I mean, no worries.
Not new, but like new to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like party games, silly party stuff,
Yeah.
and minor racial slurs. What up? Yeah. All right. I don't really. I had a lot, but like I said, the past couple of days kind of just flipped over on my end. So, But thank you for fucking hanging out with us amongst all the technical shit going on.
Yeah, thank you. It was mentioned to me that there is a bar out in the Chicago area that yeah.
Steven,
that is,
okay.
Uh-huh.
I want to advise you on this, okay? So I know exactly what you're saying. It's Ted's, correct?
maybe.
Okay.
Damn it, Don.
Steven, I want you to think second thoughts when you hang out with Agent K at that bar. I'm just saying.
If I'm gonna get, am I gonna get like wasted or?
No, you just might end up paying for all his beers. That's all.
No, we're just kidding. We're just kidding.
Yeah.
So no, from what I hear, it's a nice dive bar. I think I'll have fun.
You're
So,
fine. You're gonna be fine.
That would I mean, maybe I'll come out to that dive bar sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was featured in some cop show or something.
Oh, that right. That was right. It was featured in like a sitcom and whatnot. So, but yeah,
Sitcom?
I don't know. So, but no, no, you'll see.
Oh,
Agent Krause is a really good guy there, Steven. Hopefully you'll get to meet him and hang out at Ted's. But yeah, I first of all definitely want to to close this. I definitely want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It was definitely a pleasure and getting to know you, and hopefully this won't be the last that we hear from you. We would definitely love to have you come on back. So if possible. So I hopefully we weren't overwhelming. So I don't know.
Steve, our friend Temporal in the chat is asking because he said he saw Super Wrestlers on Instagram and was curious. Do you have social media?
Yeah, Steven Flowe 100 on Instagram.
Perfect. Good deal.
So,
yep. So with that said, definitely would love to take a couple opportunities to say thank you. Again, thank you so much for our guest, Steven Flowe, for being on and bearing with the technical difficulties. But I, for one, had a lot of fun chatting with you and shooting the shit. Again, hopefully you can come on again. A couple shout outs. We definitely want to thank the Wrestling Soup. Check them out Thursdays at 8 o'clock with Joey Numbers and Missionary Thomas. Check out the Wrestling Soup and Friendos officially on Spotify, where we have such shows as Dose of Chocolate, my co-host, the White Chocolate, along with the Evil Dose. We also have WWE LFG with Jeff Lippman again with legendary female wrestler Lou Fisto. So, and definitely want to shout out Marie Shadows. She's a part of the Squared Circle podcast that is on Spotify. Actually, she does cover JCW there, Steven. So, definitely want to give her a shout out. Chuck, I don't know if I'm missing anything on my end. So obviously thanking the live studio audience here for checking us out, not only on the DRWC show, but also anywhere else on the boob tube there. So
yeah, on those, yeah. So we want to definitely thank you for coming out, turning up through all the bullshit and technical difficulties under my end. Thank you again to our buddy and new friend Steven Flowe, a new friend and counselor. And but also big shout out, don't forget to check out our friend in arms, Gummy Chainsaw, Spurg Snake, and Insanity, INSANNIETY, all with the .coms over in their respective areas. They've been hanging out doing all their good game stuff. And if we ever get around to it, we do our game nights on the Among Us on Saturdays. I don't know if we're doing one soon. Oh my God, that was my sugar beat. So I better hurry up. Take us home there.
yes, sir. Thank you so much again for hanging out, and stay tuned for another Donversation coming up in the near future. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Steven, again, thank you so much for